Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're well. I hope you're good. If you're new, welcome. Thank you for being here. If you're returning or returning soldier, welcome back. And once again, thank you for sharing your energy with me. I truly appreciate it. Um, Today's download. Blah 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 blah. So yesterday, actually, I was going through I was going through LinkedIn, something like that, to that effect, randomly going through something. I don't know what it was, can't remember. Then I saw this artist with the most beautiful art. Like this lady, like she had the most beautiful art piece that she drew. It took her a couple of months to draw it, and she was doing a video. There was a video of her explaining her art, and just listening to her story was amazing. So I won't share a lot about her story here. But it was about she used a chess term for this, and I think I'm not sure it was a life story what she was going through, but I'm just going to talk about the painting and what the painting represented. It's a chess term where it's a German word where it says any move you make that puts you at a disadvantage. So it's about any move that this person makes or this painting depicts this person makes puts them at a disadvantage. And then I got this amazing download, if I may call it like that, thought, whatever it is, could be from the Akasha that says, so I'm going to read it, right? So I listened to her speak and I listened to her speak and I was like, oh, okay, quite interesting. And it said, as I'm listening to her, no, that's your tower moment. It is not a disadvantage. You're being removed from a situation that no longer serves you. And no matter what you see the situation as or the path is, the move will always give you what you perceive as a loss. But all it is doing is taking you out of a situation or path that is not aligned with your highest timeline. You are being aligned to your divine path, to what is meant for you. Surrender to the process and tap out of the game. I don't know what they use in chess, whether you tap out now. So surrender to what keeps, surrender to what feels like surrender might feel like defeat for now because your true path is being molded. The game was not meant for you, especially this game. The game that's meant for you is coming along and you are co creating it with the universe. I thought that was beautiful. So it's basically saying, this was not your game to begin with. You found yourself in this game. Yes, you played it for this long, so it's okay. And chess is long. Chess is seriously long. So now this person now this energy, I guess, is collectively, or it's collective energy is crafting its new path, but it's going through that tower moment of realizing, that this is not for me. This was never meant for me. In whatever way I do, I will not win. And I think that's the universe saying, no, it's not about winning or losing. I always say every experience, there's not a good experience or a bad experience. Every experience we're here to learn, heal, and grow from. So this is the part where you had to grow from it. You have to heal from it, and you grow from it, and you learn from it, so that then this experience you apply it into your next part of your phase. And you needed this part of your life. You needed this part so that when you are in the next path or in the next timeline, you apply your lessons from this timeline. And the most important thing is not to just give up and surrender, but to learn and to grow and apply the things that you've learned from this timeline. I was about to ask the universe for a card, actually. That okay, what is it that I this energy? I said I like saying I because then it represents makes it more personal. This energy it fears from about this surrendering situation, and then I got Two of Cups. And there's a lot of divine union for me. It's like divine union with yourself, divine union with who you are. Because this person also said, they want to be seen. They're not being seen. And it's that it's the person might think they want to be seen, but what they don't realize is that perhaps they have a fear that's stopping them from not being seen. you know, the fear that they're not dealing with. So when I see now this Two of Cups, it's that it's I know most of the people most times twin flame, but for me with this Two of Cups, it's that fear of meeting yourself. We sometimes fear meeting who we are and becoming divine union with who we are because we meet that part of we we fear that part of the most powerful part of who we are. And sometimes that most powerful part of who we are sits in our shadow. Sometimes that most powerful part of who we are sits, in the work that we need to do, in the tower moments, in the hermit phase, in the part of us where we have to surrender to the universe, we have to surrender to things, where we have to sit on our own, and those moments where our heads hit the pillow at night, and we have to now, process everything, and then that moment of who you truly are comes through, that moment when you realize, no, this is not for me, or but then you rationalize everything, but your true self is where you are afraid to be with your divine union of who you are, and what needs to come out from just spending time with yourself and taking every aspect of yourself, wounded or not, and healed or not, and loving it unconditionally, accepting it unconditionally, and integrating it back into your life, so that then you become the most amazing person that's who you are. And I just heard a word that said, sometimes it's the witch wound. It's the witch wound that you carry. So in this life, you might want a certain thing, but the same thing that you want of who you are is carries a wound with it, a witch wound, and a wound from your past life that you've been carrying it for so many lifetimes, that now in this life you're here to work on it. But now, how do you work on it? Because you want something, but there are certain things that you have to deal with before you get to the thing that you want. And those are the things then you need to get into divine union with yourself. Those are the things that you need to work on, and there are a lot of ways to work on things. You can get meditation videos. There's a lot of content, free content that's sitting. There's a lot of self-help books. I also do worksheets that you can have and work on. They're in the description box, and the worksheets move from, it's most of it all, it's personal growth. And then there are a lot that comes with the inner child wounding, because I like focusing sometimes when on the inner child wounding. But most of it, it's finances, it's sexual energy. I mean, there's one about cannabis and using cannabis. Those who use cannabis as a spiritual tool to get to other parts of your consciousness or subconscious mind. So there's so many tools that are available out there for personal growth, for getting into that wounded part of who you are and dealing with that wounded part of who you are. Asking yourself the questions. I feel it is very important for us to ask ourselves the questions, because we don't do a lot of asking ourselves the questions. And in asking ourselves the questions, we get closer and closer and closer, into that highest timeline, into the aligned timeline, to the path that we need to get into. When we mold this board of ours, when we mold and create the chessboard that we want to create, and all the pieces, there's different pieces that you need to move. There's different pieces that need to be created, so that when you move these pieces, you know which pieces you need to move in your life. So then I believe that, we need to ask ourselves questions. We need to ask ourselves, even when you go to therapy, ask ourselves, what do you want to achieve out of therapy? And ask yourself, what is the one thing that I want to come out that I have to deal with, when I go to therapy? So when you ask yourself questions, you get the insights, in research or in the data world, there's this it's a linear thing. It's called how to move data into, wisdom and knowledge. Where you get data, pieces of information, data just sits around, then get pieces of information that you put in pattern and stick together. Then you got the knowledge, that comes out of it. Then you've got the aha moments, the insight, which is like the wisdom that you carry with you. And that's where we need to do. So when we say move, learn from your experiences, you've got breadcrumbs, you've got parts, you've got pieces of data that you have that you need to move and align it and put together and group together as information. That, for example, I fear certain things. I see every time I get up on, okay, I'm going to use the obvious one, on stage where I meet someone, I get I get this anxiety and my heart palpitations. And then when you start asking the why, you get to a point where it is actually a witch wound. And I'm not discounting your physiological or your psychological or any other issues, but that's what I'm saying. When you go through the journey, when you go through the ultimate journey, where you use affirmations, where you use inner child healing techniques, where you go see a life coach, when you do mirror work, that's when then you will come up with what's best for you, and you'll see, not come up with what's best for you, but you will have a collection or holistic approach to your healing process and to who you are and what you need to deal with, so that then you get to that highest timeline. And that highest timeline is your highest vibrational state, where you now are saying that I want a certain thing, not necessarily, sometimes we say, I want money. Then you ask yourself, then they say, what do you want the money for? And then you get stuck. This is the point where I want money to buy myself ice cream. Why do you want to eat ice cream? I want to feel the joy and the happiness, and that, you de-stress. You just get that aha moment when you eat ice cream, because then you relax and you are in the moment. You're existing, you're in the now. So yeah, so what the biggest fear that the person has, or the collective has, I guess, I have. When I say I, please, collective, because I just like reading using I, is is that is that they want to, sorry, they fear being in connection with themselves. Sorry, I got disconnected there for a second. They fear being in union with themselves. So the best thing to do from Spirit, I just shuffled the cards and they came flying out, is I got a card that says stay strong, stay in your path, stay in your journey. And strong doesn't mean that, like act like you're strong, like act like you're strong, or toughen up. No, it's stay strong within this journey that you're in. Be consistent in what you're doing. That's what staying strong right now means for me. Be consistent, because there's perseverance. Be consistent in the healing. Be consistent in going down that spiral, and going down and down. Knowing that eventually you'll get to the point of where you need to be, and what the message that's going to come up to you. The message that's going to come for you um, is the message of love. Open up your heart, for the love frequencies. So when you go deeper and deeper and deeper in there, you'll find that what you need is the love that you need for yourself. You need to be in divine union and accept yourself unconditionally. That's why the Two of Cups came, because you need to love yourself. The message this is meant for the person it's meant for, and if it's not meant for you, leave it with love, please. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay. You can leave it. Otherwise, you just can continue listening to it and be like, oh, okay, thanks. Now I know. Because, time is not linear. You might find that this message resonates with you like 3 months down the line, 7 months, 2 years, 3 years down the line. But because it will be sitting in your memory, you'll be like, this is what it was about. But don't force it also if it's not for you. So the whole point is to surrender to this process, surrender to the process, because what this is bringing you is it's a messenger of love. This is bringing you a moment where you go and be in love with yourself. Go and be in love with who you are and who you truly are and what you're meant to be and what you're meant to do in this world. And I think I'm going to leave it there. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for being here. I truly appreciate it. Okay, just here one more card. I'm going to take from the work your light. I guess that's quite nice, this deck. Let's just get one last message from this deck. It says, Warrior Woman, have you answered your deepest calling? And which is exactly what I said, have you gone down that, not spiral, don't spiral. Go into those deepest parts of who you are, to find out who you are, what's your calling, what's your deepest calling, and surrender to love. And the message is love yourself in that process. Love who you are, what you find in that. Your witch wound, love yourself, love that. Love the fears that you have. Love all of you holistically and every part of who you are, because that's the thing that takes you to your highest timeline. That's the process that takes you to who you're supposed to be in this lifetime, or if not in this lifetime, the preparation for your next lifetime, so that then you don't continue to come on earth and learn the same lesson over and over and over again. Then you become the being that you want to be, or the next time you come in, as an ascended master. You come here back to be a master of life and a master of everything that you do, because you surrender to the process. Something says you fought your demons. I don't know. I'm more like live with them, but not in a, I guess, fight the ones and fight it with love. Oh, I see now. Fight it with love. Fight it with the beauty of love, give it love. That's what they say. Fight your demons with love. Fight whatever you find with love in that spot and moment. So this is your tower moment. You're not, it's not a disadvantage for you. It might feel like it. I mean, having been through this process where I had tower moment and I was out of work and doing nothing, and to where I am right now is the most beautiful thing ever. It might feel like you've got no moves, but sometimes these are your best moves ever. And not when it's not a force, but it's like when things seem like, okay, I have no other move but to do this and nobody's winning, you are winning. Your soul knows. Your soul's blueprint knows that you are winning right now. It might not feel like it, but trust me, you are winning. So thank you for that, and thank you for being here. Um, Always remember to be bold, be beautiful, be you. Take care. Bye.